Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, the ultimate reason for your fluctuation, your mental fluctuation, and your emotional fluctuation is because you don't see who you are yet. You don't know who you are yet. Right now, what you know about yourself is the mental representation, which is the preference, which is the belief in you. I am this and that. And I am this and that is a conditioned self, a created self from your experience. Right now, you are somebody, isn't it? That somebody is your career, defined by your job. So, how did you get to that identification? Is a decades of conditioning, isn't it? And that conditioning started at home, at school, your environment. Your parents want you to be somebody. The school added further meanings to become somebody. And right now you are somebody. And that somebody is who you are. And that is now is the mental identity fused with emotional qualities. So who you are right now is coming from the place of conditioned world, from your environment. Who you are is that. What you think of yourself is that, the identity that the world influenced you to be, and you are that. That is the mental identity. What you know about yourself is the hot peak experience of your life. Beside that, you know nothing about your true self. You don't know nothing about the unchanging self. Why? Because you haven't seen who you are yet. And when you don't see who you are yet, that means you don't know who you are yet. You're clinging to the false self. You're clinging to the identity that came from the environment. And that clinging to that identity itself is a sign of fear of being nobody. And when you don't see who you are, there is no understanding about what you are. And that's why there is fluctuation in your life. There's a mental fluctuation, there's an emotional fluctuation, and then when there is an inner fluctuation, your physical body also fluctuates and end up making you struggle more, isn't it? The physical fluctuation, mental fluctuation, emotional fluctuation is struggle. And when you are fluctuated, notice you forget the moment as well. The moment is ignored. So, when there's a fluctuation, when there's a struggle, the narration on that struggle also prolongs, isn't it? You can only stop the fluctuation when you get distracted by something in your life, isn't it? You can, reflect on your past mental, emotional struggle. How did you end up forgetting your struggle? Is by aligning with something that was providing you fun. So that is a momentary release from the mental and emotional struggle. But once the fun is over, you are left with the struggle again. Life is unfolding moment to moment. And the same struggle, the mental struggle, emotional struggle, will continue to happen, isn't it? You are the witness of your life. You recognize this thing. There was a mental and emotional struggle in the past. It is still there, and it will be there again. And every time there's a struggle, there's a fluctuation, we end up denying the fluctuation. We ignore why the fluctuation is there by inviting a shortcut approach, by focusing on something. And right now, in this modern world, when you are lost in your mental trauma, emotional trauma, focus on something that can improve life. Correct. When you are struggling, focusing on something helps you divert your focus from the struggle to whatever we try to align with. But whatever we enlighten with, to forget something, to continue life, to live in the moment, whatever we have chosen something new, we will end up with a struggle again in the future. So adding something to ignore the root cause of the fluctuation is not gonna make us be free from our fluctuation. Looking into the fluctuation directly is the solution. But looking in, finding the root cause of the fluctuation seems wasting the time for the people who are living in a go-go world. In the modern world, everyone's life is about go, make things happen. And when the life is happening that way, you see you can make something for yourself with that attitude, with that momentum, stopping that momentum and looking into yourself, creating an inward journey and finding the root cause of the struggle, eliminating the struggle. Seems boring, seems like wasting the time. And, firstly, it seems against the momentum of life. But no matter how much we ignore the root cause of the struggle and try to be part of the world, to invite stability, invite freedom, it's it's never satisfactory, isn't it? No matter how much you have ignore your fluctuation in your life and put yourself in something to divert your mind away from the inner struggle, has never given you the true freedom. And you know that. You don't have to abandon the living world, the functioning world. And also, you don't have to abandon the inward journey. They can go in a parallel uh, approach. You can live your life, do whatever is important for you, and do it. Yes, you can focus on something what is important that will help you to find the flow in whatever you're choosing. But when that is done, you can also focus on figuring out why and what makes you fluctuate. Why do I, why do I get lost in this mental and emotional drama? So, create some time to look in. The way you find the flow to be part of the world, same way, creating some time to be part of the inward journey, you'll find the flow as well. Only in the beginning, you'll have a hard time sitting with yourself, nothing, and just watching is strange. It's weird in the beginning. But you have to remember why you're doing it in the first place. And the answer to be part of the inward journey is to live your life without drama, without fear, without inner struggle. So that's the reason. And deep down in you, you want to be free from your fear. You want to end the inner struggle. There is that, lingering idea of freedom is there. Anyway, whatever you are participating, outwardly is also for the freedom, isn't it? Freedom, fun, stability. But that is just a half cook approach. It's just a partial movement. But to truly be free in the world, you have to be free within first. That means you have to see your true self. You have to see the true nature of who you are. Again, the reason you are struggling in life, struggling in the outer world, is because you're ignoring who you are by not knowing how to see yourself first. And we ignore to realize who we are is because our whole life has been outward movement of becoming somebody. So watching yourself, figuring out who we are was not important back then. But now it is important. Why? Because you are struggling. You're fluctuating mentally, emotionally. There's an inner struggle. There's inner fear. Now, because of the struggle, now we can create an inward journey And spirituality, reference everybody, the real freedom is within. And the real freedom is within means realizing the truth of who you are first. Once you realize that, once you see who you are, that process itself will teach you what is the world. It teaches you what the world is, and you know how to participate in the world. But without going through the inward journey, without being part of the inward journey, you don't understand the nature of the mind. You don't understand how the mind comes into existence. You don't know how the mind becomes a reality as a false reality. So when these things are missing, you don't understand the world. When you don't understand yourself, you don't understand others as well, because who you are is exactly your surrounding, the people. World, the people is simply the mind, and you are also the mind at the moment when the truth is missing. But when you see the truth of who you are, you understand the mind, and then you understand people as well. You know why they are moving. You know why people act the way they act. So, to communicate well in the world, to act in a healthy way, the key to freedom, the key to end the struggle is always you. And that you is not the mind. The mind is not the key to dissolve the fluctuation, dissolve the fear, struggle. To be free, to end the struggle, we need to end the mind. Right now, who we are is the mind. And mind is the false reality. And we are the false reality right now. And because of being the false reality, we are struggling. So to end the struggle, we need to eliminate the mind. We need to eliminate the identification with the mind. And that's the way to see the truth. And the journey to figure out the truth of who you are is tracing the mind backward. Tracing your identity backward. So, trace your identity backward. Trace your identity means your mind, your belief. You have certain concrete belief in you. You see some belief to be true. Is it true really though? Or are you assuming it to be true? To realize what you believe to be true or not, you have to trace your mind backward. Tracing the mind backward, tracing a belief or preference backward is the way to see whether mind is the real reality or not. So how to trace the mind? The simple and direct way to trace your mind backward is by looking into your struggle, looking into your attachment, or looking into your fear. If you look directly at yourself and witness yourself and dismantle the mind, trace your mind, you can figure out the root cause of your struggle, the root cause of your pain. And when you figure out the root, then the root has to be eliminated as well. If you don't eliminate the root, your life is still happening from that root. And right now, your life is happening from that root. That's why there's a struggle. So to end the struggle, you have to uproot the root altogether. And that's the way to be free. So recognize the struggle is there. The fear is there. So let's just work on the struggle today. Let's work on tracing the struggle back. You are struggling, okay? Now, you ask yourself, why am I struggling? You're physically struggling, you're mentally struggling, you're emotionally struggling. The struggle is there because of something there in your life that you identify yourself with. Okay? So there is a gross level of identification to the subtlest level of identification is there. So when you ask yourself, why am I struggling? There should be the answer. You are struggling. Whatever is making you struggle, you are struggling. So when you ask, why am I struggling? There should be the answer for your struggle. So let this question be the background and let it ring, and you just stay and watch. The answer will resurface in your mind because of something. Whatever is that answer, now ask, why is that important? Now, this way you are using the answer to create an inward journey by questioning why. Started with the why. Whatever answer comes in, you ask why again. The same way you keep going back until you figure out the root cause of your struggle, root cause of your suffering. And then that root is the attachment, your conditioning, your conditioned life. You're attached to that conditioning because the conditioning is creating certain flow for you. Even you are suffering in your life, you still hold on to that conditioning because that conditioning is creating some flow, some stability for you. And to see who you are, you have to let go the attachment. And this is where the fear starts to resurface. And you have to dismantle your fear as well. You have to trace your fear backward by asking, why do I have fear? You started with, why am I struggling? You will see the root of the struggle, and then you see the attachment, and then you have to let go of the attachment. And now there's a fear. Fear of letting go. Why do I have fear? You ask yourself. You see your fear. Now, why do I have fear? And this is the way to trace your fear backward. All the way until there will be a point you cannot trace your mind back any further. So basically, from the mind, you are going to no mind. You end up towards no mind. Okay? Now, this is the preparation. You have to trace all your ego, pretty much all your mental fluctuation, you have to trace it back. And this becomes a good foundation. And this foundation already teaches you the nature of the mind, how the mind comes into existence and play its role in the world as a reality. So, and if you are thorough in dismantling the mind in all aspects of your life, then, and when you ask yourself, who am I? That's where you're going to catch your ego, you'll catch your mind, and also that will make you see the truth. This whole enlightenment journey is about being thorough of your mind. And in the moment of silence, when you ask yourself, who am I? You recognize, you see that that ego cannot comprehend the truth. And that's how the ego gives up, and you become the reality, the unchanging reality. That is the consciousness itself. You take the seed of the consciousness. You become the conscious self rather than the mental self. And that's the enlightenment journey. So, again, the reason you're fluctuating in your life physically, mentally, emotionally is because you don't see who you are. When you don't see who you are, you don't understand anything about yourself except the mental representation. And you are that, you're moving with that, which is a false self. And you're moving with the false self to make the false self real and fighting with the world. That creates more struggle in the life. So figure out who you are truly without the mind, and that will solve all your struggle from your life. I hope this video makes sense. I hope I'm helping you in some ways through this reference. I hope you doing the work of dismantling, because without doing the work, you go nowhere. Everything you hear becomes another mental credential. Just the mind gets bigger and bigger, but you go nowhere. To really see the truth of who you are, it's not about just hearing, accumulating the ideas, reference, meaning, but working to dismantle the mind. The spiritual journey is about not making the mind bigger with beautiful meanings, with credential. It's about destroying the mind, dissolving the mind. So if you're not dissolving the mind in your spiritual journey, you're just making your mind bigger and bigger. And that, it just simply makes you more righteous, spiritually righteous. The righteousness is, stubborn ego. Sometimes people don't even see that, people already are wearing that mask of being righteousness. So, shrink your mind until the mind dissolves to nothing. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.